How was your day? Part 2. Hello, we are Why Is That So? And welcome to our podcast series that often begins with why questions based on the first breath method, exploring various issues in life. To truly live with a resilient spirit, there's a line in Taylor Swift's song, Cardigan, that goes, "You drew stars around my scars." Essentially, this is a metaphor. You drew stars around the scars within me. Do you have any scars on your body? I bet you do, everyone does. Are there stories behind those marks? Join us for this episode. The first thing I noticed when I met the young girl was her wrists, full of scars, which she was trying to hide with bracelets and accessories. The girl looked flustered, her smile faltering when she realized the person opposite her had discovered the secret she was trying so hard to bury. The first question that arose in anyone's mind upon seeing those cuts was, why would she hurt herself like that? People didn't understand why she would want her body to be etched with those marks. But no one knew that these scars were the only method she could think of at the time. Yes, at that time, those terrifying memories that she didn't want to recall even in her grave flickered in her dreams, the sound of her parents' endless arguments, dishes and chopsticks scattered everywhere. It seemed they were once again caught in another one of their battles. Only she was trapped in 3 battles at once: her father's, her mother's, and her very own personal struggle with herself. The feeling of a warm home was a gentle comfort she had longed for so long. Just the word, home, if it could be spoken aloud, would be like a deep, warm note. We all want to live in a space that makes us feel safe, loved, and cherished. But for many, including her, home wasn't always a place to return to. She didn't know the true form of a loving home. She grew up craving to love and be loved, but she didn't know how to love and even less how to receive affection. She didn't believe she deserved unconditional love. Back then, every time she said, "I love you," or hugged her mother would ask, "What exactly do you need? What do you want to act like that?" And gradually, she came to believe that people must need or want something to seek love, and to be loved, one must be able to provide what the other person desires. Yet, on the day she told her mother she loved her, deep down, it was simply because she wanted to express her love, and she yearned for her mother to hold her close, to caress the fragment of her soul that was slowly dying within her. But her mother didn't do that. Perhaps back then, she also didn't know how to love, didn't know how to separate her past hurts from her loved ones. Some adults bring a young life into deep, bottomless waters, but never give it anything to cling to, or teach it how to swim and fight for rescue. Some children just lie there in the dark ocean their whole lives, stuck with an itch they don't know how to relieve other than by hurting themselves. Self-harm, or the act of intentionally hurting oneself through various means, can happen to anyone. About 10% of teenagers have engaged in self-harm. In reality, cutting often begins with a trigger. It's not what a normal person might imagine. It starts with something truly sad, deeply painful, a feeling of helplessness. Your heart aches, clenches, you can't breathe, and tears stream down ceaselessly. You don't know how to talk about it or what to do with it. You can't clear your mind of the sadness. Then you hurt yourself, even before consciously realizing the act. Afterwards, somehow, you feel as if you are in another place in this unconscious state. Suddenly, you feel as though you've gained control of something. A sense of overwhelming relief floods your being. The self-harm temporarily ceases, but it doesn't end. After some time, when the swarm of dark, wriggling bugs clings tightly to your heart again, that dreadful feeling returns, and you try it once more. Gradually, it becomes a habit or a compulsive behavior, meaning the more often someone does something, the more they feel the urge to do it again. The brain begins to link the feeling of release from sorrow with the act of self-harm, and it craves this sense of relief whenever stress arises again. Clearly, this is not a way to heal oneself, but a vicious, negative cycle. Hurting oneself can only temporarily alleviate a bad feeling. Even those who have harmed their bodies agree that it's not the best way to release psychological tension. The sense of relief after physical pain doesn't truly exist. The sorrow that caused this self-destructive act is still there. It's just being covered up. Now, looking back, she finds this act insane, but at the time it seemed completely logical to her. She only thought of them as a secret part that only she knew, as if it was her way of controlling everything. But that was then. Now she has to deal with the scars. The past can be neatly wrapped up and buried by ignoring it. Just by locking her mouth shut and not telling anyone about it, perhaps no one would gossip, and these blemishes would be swallowed by time. But scars are different. They easily catch the eye of strangers meeting her for the first time, leading to suspicion, whispers, and judgment. A woman with wrists full of scars like that must have something hidden. Those could be cuts from those rebellious girls who have given up on life, or marks from a woman beaten by rivals for stealing a husband. The cruelty of people's words is horrifying. Clearly, people often encourage each other by saying that scars are proof of strength, that wounds are where light can enter, that cracks are necessary for warmth to seep in. Yet they utter such harsh words and treat her with caution. Now that her scars have healed, her heart has also closed off. No light can penetrate. She thought she would have to flounder alone to survive in those deep, bottomless waters, because no matter how many times she tried, she still couldn't surface and reach the sunlight. But who would have thought? She found light from the stars. He came, his gentle fingers tracing each horizontal and vertical cut, and unexpectedly he drew stars around each scar on her arm. She saw the stars connect, guiding her through the darkness. She saw everything more clearly. She found her way out. It turns out, thanks to a few people, a few things, we suddenly feel that this life is truly worth living. He is the vast ocean, the boundless sky, the endless green fields. He is the wonderful world of good books, the melodious songs, the vibrant colors of quirky hobbies, the golden sunlight bathing an autumn afternoon, the profound films like the flowers in the garden stretching to bloom that morning. The sky was higher and bluer. She walked beneath the leafy trees and felt something called love. She felt a sense of safety, something called home. That's what it felt like to be home. It turned out the world still loved her so much. Everything seemed to shrink into her view, small, beautiful, gentle. She thought she had found a reason to move forward, truly steadfast. And you, have you found those stars yet? I believe everyone has scars on their body, and I do too. Luckily, my long scars aren't from emotional trauma. They're just from childhood bike accidents or mischief. But every scar once hurt, didn't it? And dear listener, did you know a fact? Skin is the largest organ in your body, and it's truly miraculous. Every day, your skin sheds about 500 million dead cells, yet it never tears or leaks. Your body is working hard to protect you every single day. So, I hope you love yourself deeply. You will be the one to draw stars around the scars on your arms, and around the scars in your heart too. You are the stars.